We're all neighbors. It doesn't matter where you live or what you look like, what you do for a living. One Illinois to me is about bringing people together, restoring faith in our public institutions, and more importantly, in one another.
Thank you for spending your Friday evening with us. So, my name is Ameya Pawar. I've been the alderman of the 47th Ward in Chicago for the last 6 years. And in January of this year, I threw my hat in the ring for the Democratic nomination for governor because I believe in social justice, I believe in fairness, I believe in equity. I think that most people share in these values.
You know, the thing about government, it's just people coming together to try to make everyone's life better.
You know, our plan is to go to every single county in the state. Part of what we're doing is going places that Democrats haven't done well, because I believe that you don't write people off based on who they voted for in the last election. It's easy to prey on people's economic anxieties and turn other communities into the other when people feel like they haven't been listened to. That economic violence is how we get to a place where bombast and ugly political rhetoric is the same as political authenticity. And we need to fight back against that. But the only way you fight that is with a positive agenda that brings people together. Before I begin, I just want to make one thing clear. We are told over and over again that the state is broke. And it is true, it is broke on paper. But for perspective, the size of the Illinois economy is $700 billion. It's the 5th largest in the country. It's bigger than most other countries around the world. So the idea that we don't have the money to pay for the things that we care about, or more importantly, to take care of one another, is just patently false. What's missing is the political will to make everybody pay their fair share, and quite frankly, make wealthy people pay their fair share. And wealth doesn't have to be demonized. We just have to stop worshiping it, so that we can push back against an agenda that makes communities and people fight one another over scraps. $100,000 a year, fight people making $150,000. People make $150,000, fight $100 against $80,000 and all the way down. When the truth is, the upper middle class down to the working poor are in the exact same boat. There is a difference between someone making a solid wage and someone making money off of money. Because these folks, the 2 doctors over here, still pay 33 to 35% on income tax. But over here, if you're making $200 million a year, you're paying 15, 17. That's the difference. Our policy is always based on deserving and undeserving. That we believe some people deserve more than others, and we need to break that narrative. So when jobs and industries started leaving Black and brown communities 40 years ago, what happened? Poverty went up, social service provision went up, and the war on drugs jailed Black and brown families. They broke them up. And now that those same kinds of jobs are leaving white communities, and opiates and heroin issues are ticking up, now it's a public health issue. And the truth is, it's always been a public health issue. We need to get people involved, organized, and engaged as to what equity actually means and looks like.
The good news is, as we travel around the state on this One Illinois tour, you can see people are hungry for change, but hungry for a change that brings people together and unites them again for something positive.
We're talking about unity because it's the harder conversation, because nothing changes unless we bring people together. All these labels that we come up with, Democrats, Republicans, ideologues, lefties, right, all of that stuff goes aside because I think most people just, when it comes down to their school opening on time, or having basic programming at the Park District, that's all people care about. It's in our Constitution that it is the state's primary responsibility to pay for public schools. And yet, it doesn't matter where you live, less than 26% of your school's funding comes from the state. See, the thing is, we can't keep cutting up the same pie differently. The pie just needs to be bigger on education funding.
We all, breathe the same air. We all need clean water. We all want to make sure we can work and get ahead.
Our most basic charge is to lean on one another. If we just look at one another as neighbors and recognize that if we give someone a lift up today, you might be in that same position they are 20 years from now. And recognizing that what undergirds all of this is opportunity and the ability for people to see a future that's brighter for them.